What's up, YouTube? Your girl is back from NFT NYC, so we are doing a video this week. Guess what? Polkadot Parachain auctions are live. So in this video, I'm going to be covering briefly what Polkadot is, what Parachain auctions are, and my personal picks for the top 3 projects that I think are going to have like the biggest return. Welcome back to all my subscribers. If you're new here, this is not financial advice where I talk about all things crypto and DeFi related. So make sure you stick around, hit that like and subscribe, and also make sure you turn on notifications because crypto is such a fast moving space that notifications really help, both on Twitter and YouTube. So with that being said, let's get right into it. All right, let's start off with briefly, what is Polkadot? Polkadot is a platform that allows diverse blockchains to transfer messages, and in brief is a scalable, heterogeneous, multi-chain technology. What does that mean? It's essentially kind of like a layer 0 type of platform. It's not really a blockchain. It's what blockchains plug into for shared security and such. And it basically tries to solve the interoperability problem because right now in crypto, we have so many different blockchains and layer 2s and rollups and all these side things that there's a lot of silos. And so it's not at its most optimal state. And projects like Polkadot and Cosmos are trying to solve that problem through interoperability. That's the buzzword of the year. So right now, Polkadot has been testing things on its Canary network called Kusama. And this is, just think of it as like their test net. And a good way to visualize this is by looking at this picture. So basically think of Polkadot as like the mothership. And the mothership is comprised of relay chains like this one shown, where this is where you get that shared security and interchain message passing. And then each of these little parachain slots, those are the ones where each individual blockchain gets to plug in and play. So in theory, this is kind of how it would look. You have the relay chain here, and then you've got the blockchains that plug into these parachains, like Chainlink, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then in addition, all these other dApps are going to be built on top of these layer 1s. Let's check out parachains.info. This is the best place to get official information. If you go to auctions, these are auctions held on Polkadot, because I'm only going to be covering Polkadot in this video, where they determine which blockchain gets to connect to the parachain slot. All the parachain slots are finite, and so once the auction begins, every project on the network is free to submit their bid to the relay chain. And the auction is done in a way that discourages last-minute bids. So basically, it's going to end after a random time determined by the system within a certain time frame, of course. And the project with the most dots win. And teams are allowed to use crowd loans to basically crowdsource the dot and bootstrap its parachain auction. So basically, to support a project, you have to agree to lock up your dot until the end of the lease. So if your project wins, your dot is locked up for about 2 years or 96 weeks. If they lose, then you get your dot back within a few days after the auction. So you're not really selling your dot or spending your dot. Think of the cost as more of the opportunity cost of locking your dot up. Now, I will say though, that teams can reward their contributors however they see fit and can structure their crowd loans in various ways. And certain projects have gotten creative with this and have said that they're going to give back like a liquid version of the dot so that you can still have the liquidity of the dots that you've staked. But more on that later. When they start, you'll see a join now button in the crowd loan table below. And this will lead you to polkadot.js.org. You can also go to your Parachain project's website where you might get additional bonuses from the project team for your contribution. And I'll show you that a little bit later in the video. The minimum amount to contribute is 5 dots. And they even have a list of scam or phishing sites for you to cross-reference in case you come across something that looks potentially too good to be true, which usually they are. All right, so let's head over to projects. Right now, there are a total of 153 projects. Parachain auction number 1 starts tomorrow. November 11th. All right, so here are some of my top 3 picks for projects that look the most promising. So what I do is I go and I hit auction and testing, and then I go to Polkadot. And this filters all of the ones by my parameters. And what I kind of look for is if they have a relative project on Kusama, meaning something similar already won a auction slot on the testnet Kusama and has done really well. That's usually a good indicator that bringing it on the mainnet is also going to do really well too. The second thing I look for is whether or not they've received Web3 Foundation grants and how many they've gotten, because in order to receive one, the project had to deliver one milestone to receive a grant. And I'm assuming it's like one milestone per grant, because some of these have like 5 grants. And then I also look at the number of investors as well as who the investors are. Generally, VCs are VCs for a reason, and I don't really want to bet against them, so why not use this for your own advantage? And of course, you want to do your own research on the individual projects themselves, as well as their team. You know, check out some of their AMAs, look at what their product does, play around with it a little bit, because they should have something like a beta version for you to try out. And so with that being said, you can already see I've starred like 3 of those, but I definitely am very confident in Akala. This is an all-in-one DeFi hub of Polkadot. It is EVM compatible, and they also offer a suite of financial applications such as trustless staking derivatives, multi-collateralized stablecoin backed by cross-chain assets, and an AMM DEX, which is automated market maker decentralized exchange, all with micro gas fees that can be paid in any token. I thought this was pretty unique because as of right now, every time you bridge over to another network, you have to have their native token in order to pay gas fees or do any transactions. So with this project, once you go onto their network, you can use any of your already existing tokens to pay for gas. And they've already gotten 3 different grants. They're having 17% of their 1 billion tokens reserved for the reward, 20% to claim immediately. There's a vesting schedule and a 5% referral bonus. And they raised over 12 million DOT, which as of today is around 585 million USD. If you look at their investors, they have really heavyweight investors such as Parachain Capital, Alameda Research, Coinbase Ventures, Hashkey. This is where you can join. So if you click this button to join the crowd loan, it will take you to their website. This is the place where you can click contribute now, contribute directly, contribute in state liquid, use an exchange, or use a wallet. And they give you a video. I would watch this video to kind of learn more before you do anything. And it also tells you how this liquid crowd loan DOT works. So this one, when you contribute your DOT to them, you receive Akala tokens or ACA tokens relative to your share of the network. So the more DOT that you give to them, the higher your rewards are. And you also receive a liquid crowd loan DOT denominated as LC DOT, which is kind of like a receipt representing your locked DOT. And you can take this receipt and access the underlying DOT liquidity. So you can swap it, you can use it as collateral to mint AUSD and other things on DeFi. And in 2 years, providing that they win, you can redeem this receipt for your underlying DOT that was locked in the crowd loan. So yes, there is still the opportunity cost of not being able to sell the amount of DOT that you've contributed, but this team is giving you a liquid receipt that allows you to be more flexible in terms of your own liquidity. This is why I love DeFi. So yeah, this one, if you participate and connect your extension, you also get, for limited time only, extra 5% ACA rewards. Their relative project was Karura, which was actually the project to win the first slot auction on Kusama. The other project that I personally really like Astar. So this actually used to be called Plasm. It's basically trying to optimize scalability. Scalability has been such a huge pain in the butt for projects like Ethereum. And so scalability is going to be super, super important with moving forward. So the more that we onboard more users and applications, the more you need to be scalable. And that's why I really like Astar. They are trying to solve the scalability problem. They have 5 Web3 Foundation grants already, as well as 23 investors. Definitely a heavy hitter in this first Parachain auction. And not to mention that for every dot you contribute, you get 40 plus Astar or ASTR, which right now there's not a price for, but potentially really big rewards for being an early supporter. The other one that I'm really looking at is Moonbeam. Moonbeam's relative project is Moon River, which has done very well on Kusama. So that's a really good indication. This project makes it easy to build dApps on DOT, meaning that they can integrate with other blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So with their smart contracts and EVM compatibility, you can quickly build things either native to Polkadot or bridge-based integrations. They've gotten 2 Web3 grants, and they have 15 investors, including Coinbase, Hashkey, Binance, CoinFund, and they've raised over 7 million DOT, and the reward is 1-to-1, and basically the reward pool is 10% of the total supply. All right, and then last but not least, also been looking at Littentree, because this deals with privacy and security, which is also highly undervalued on the blockchain right now. And they're trying to provide a secure vehicle through which users manage their identities in dApps, obtain real-time credit reputation of an identity owner across different blockchains, which is a mouthful. This one also has solid investors backing it, and they've gotten their first W3 grant. So definitely something else to look into. You know, the ratio is 1 to 2.5. And they've also set aside about 20% for the reward pool out of 100 million total supply, which is a lot less than 7 billion. So I could see the returns on this one being enormous as well. So in a nutshell, that's Polkadot Parachain auctions and my top 3 picks for the projects with the biggest returns. I hope you found this information helpful. If so, feel free to share it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the comments below.